What's up, man? I know I usually don't go live during the day, but I got some things to get off my chest. And so I'm gonna be straight up. Y'all already know I'm always gonna keep it 1,000. I'm always gonna be straight up, but I want to be straight up today about just a deep subject, man, on something that I've been passionate about, right? Shikari Richardson, I know y'all seen what happened, right? This is about her, but it's bigger than her. And if you go back and watch watch my content, y'all know how I feel about this, but you watch, like, I think it's 2016. I did a video called Pick Me Apart, a spoken word. Go watch it on YouTube. And I wrote that because I just realized what this society is, man. And this ain't to, like, let me be clear. My tagline is, it all starts with you. I believe in self-accountability and responsibility, and the decision that you make, you got to live with those decisions, right? But we live in a world, right? This is the world that we live in. Man, I'm probably about to lose some followers with this one, but I don't give a damn. Actually, y'all, I mean, just being real. We live in a world, right? We live in a world that is so graceless. And again, I'm not saying that when people do something wrong, whatever, they shouldn't be held accountable. I believe that, right? Period. But we live in a world that lacks understanding. And this is not just about Shikari. This is in general, right? We live in a world that lacks understanding. It's crazy that we will sit here and condemn. We will condemn people. And I believe in holding people accountable, right? Having conversations. But we live in a world where we will condemn people before we even pray for them, right? We'll point out their flaws and, like, oh, look at them. Their downfall becomes our entertainment. That's why I can't stand social media. I can't stand this world, because people will literally kick you while you down instead of giving you a helping hand to help you stand up. So what's crazy to me is that when she said she lost her mom, and listen, maybe this is sensitive to my heart because I just lost my mom and I have a platform and I understand what comes with it. I don't even have a platform like that. But when you're in front of the world, right, and you lost your mother, I wonder how many people that's condemning her today, because people didn't like her anyway. Let's be real, right? People didn't like her anyway. A lot of people didn't. I wasn't going to say everybody, because I think she's an inspiration, especially I can speak for the Dallas-Fort Worth community, people across the world that know something is possible, period. Like, I love to see people win, because it lets me know that it's possible. Me growing up, when I got to see Jerry Rice and all these people I looked up to when they were winning, I got to see that it was possible, right? Period. But we live in a world, man, that we literally condemn people for the same things that we can't face in the mirror. And we all got struggle. And I know how it feels to lose a mom and go through things, bro, like demons for real. Inside, we all got them. Everybody on this live, you got your struggles. If your walls could talk, they would say something different than what you let the world see. Let's be real. Stop acting like you perfect. Ain't nobody in this world perfect. What would we need Jesus for if everybody was perfect? But we live in a society. We live in a society where, in a social media world, where everybody wants people to be perfect. Everybody. And a lot of people won't give the same grace that they will expect. Because guess what? You're going to have your day with struggle. You're going to have your day with hard times. You're going to have your days with imperfection. You're going to have your days with mistakes. And the same lack of sympathy that you're giving to people, don't be complaining when that same lack of sympathy come back to you. That's why I never speak on people's situations. You ain't gonna never see me post about somebody that's going through something, period. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know the demons that people face. You don't know the struggles that they wake up with every single day. And especially when you got a platform, because people expect you just to be okay. They don't expect you to be human. Trust me, I know. So just think about that. Like, before you sit there and condemn anybody, take time to understand, because obviously it's a reason that they doing what they doing. Obviously it's a reason why they're at where they're at in their life. And this is, like I said, this is holistic. This is holistic about the world. But we live in a generation where it's cool, right? When it's convenient to love somebody, we love them, right? We uplift them, we love them because it's convenient to. Because it's trendy. And when it's trendy to hate on somebody and kick somebody while they down, people do that too. We got a lot of people just follow the trend. That's the world that we live in, right? If something forbid happened to me, it will be people who supposedly support me kicking me while I'm down, instead of reaching out to me and say, hey man, what's wrong? What's going on? What happened? What you battling? What you going through? That's the world that we live in. right? The world that we live in, we get our high off of making other people feel low. We get our entertainment. I'm going to tell you something. If you get entertained by somebody's downfall, there's something wrong with you, right? You got some inner work that you need to do. If you feel better when you see somebody fail, it only means that you got some stuff inside of yourself that ain't secure. It only means that you got a lot of insecurities in your life. How do you know? How do I know I was that person? When I got cut from the NFL, I was so bitter in my spirit that I didn't want to see anybody winning because I was bitter, because I was hurt, because I was going through my own storms and I didn't want to see anybody winning. And that's the world that we live in now, man. It's so convenient to tear people down. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you kick me while I'm down, I'm going to break your leg, like Weezy said. And I hope Shikari does the same thing. I hope she comes back and murders it, right? And crushes it. Because again, let's talk about this. And I've been wanting to talk about this. Some people going to follow me. I don't really care, to be honest. I'm the person that I'm probably trying to lose followers. So I want to talk about this for a second. We live in a world, right? What's crazy to me is I'm going to talk from an athlete perspective, right? And I can talk about this because I was an athlete for 20 some years of my life. And I'll tell you exactly what was given to me, right? I remember, I'm not going to say what team, but when I made it professionally, I was literally popping pain pills like Skittles, bro, just to practice. They were giving me pain pills, right? A pain pills that people are addicted to, right? We wonder with this opioid addiction. I'm not trying to get in depth with this stuff, but it's crazy that people will supply you prescription drugs and pain pills. I was literally drugged up just to practice because I knew if I didn't practice, I was getting cut. And I got addicted to that stuff. This is something I don't really talk about. There's a lot of athletes. They get addicted to pain pills, not just athletes, people in general. My mom's situation, I ain't going to talk on this today, but I can talk about my mother's situation. How the doctor just fed her chemotherapy. Man, let me not get on that today because I ain't ready to go there. Maybe y'all ain't ready to hear it, but it's crazy how doctors would tell my mother, right? Doctors would tell my mother, nah, don't do that, right? Don't do that. Don't take the natural route. Don't do that. And so I say, because I get emotional talking about this. The cause that I'm fighting for is big. And I shed tears because, like, I hate the world that we live in. I hate it. And there's a lot of beautiful things in this world. Don't get me wrong, a lot. But I just hate the world that we live in. That we're so programmed. We're so programmed. This is real tears, bro. Like, we're so programmed. And it's a lot of things that I haven't spoke on that I'm going to start speaking on because I got a platform and I refuse to not use my platform. There's a lot of things in this world that we so programmed with. We program with hate. We program with judgment. We program in general. Like, I don't want to get into the whole doctor stuff, right? Because maybe I'm not qualified to talk about it. But it's crazy when doctors will tell somebody not to do something natural, right? That's helping them and give them some prescription crap that and there's a lot of people fighting these battles, bro. A lot of people fighting these battles. So for me, speaking on stuff is deeper. It ain't just a situation. I'm always thinking about, man, what led that person to that situation? Why is that person in that situation? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just talking to my partner, Brenda, and she said, you know, T, what if we start loving people? What if we can start treating people for how great they can be. What if we live in a world where we can do that? And I wish we could have that. And again, this ain't me telling, like, y'all know I preach accountability. Y'all know I preach accountability. You got to deal with your decisions that you make. But I'm like, damn, man, like I've seen it. I've seen it to my friends on here where people just like, it's convenient to hate on somebody, get on somebody's feed and just follow the trend. But you ain't reached out to that person. You ain't prayed for that person. So the next time you condemn somebody, the next time you hate on somebody, next time you kick somebody while they down, just know, man, that same foot that you kicking people while they down, don't be surprised if you get a lot of foots in your while you down. Don't be surprised with that, because ain't nobody immune to struggle. I don't care if you live in the hood. I don't care if you live in Hollywood. The storm is going to come in your life, period. Period. So how about you help your neighbor? That's what true strength is, when you can find somebody while they down and pick them up, right? When you can have somebody's back when everybody else turn their back. That's what we need in this world, man. And I know I get emotional about this because I'm not none of these other people. I'm not gonna say other people because it's a million people who are great, but my mission is something different. And why I started my mission is something different. Y'all go do y'all's research on what I truly fight for. I fight for mental health, period. When it wasn't popular to, right? When it wasn't popular to talk about it, I was talking about it back in 2009, 2010, because I understand, man, when you go through things, like somebody said, like, man, like, you know, she had everything everything like right in front of her. Why would she do that? Exactly. That's like me getting ready for a Super Bowl and I'm like, and I do something to throw it away. Obviously, it's something in my life that I'm going through that I need help with, that I'm battling, because we all got silent battles. And the thing about this is, and this is why I fight for this, this is so much a bigger picture. We all got silent battles. And the problem with this is so many people keep their battles silent because they're afraid to talk about it. Because as soon as they talk about it, you got cowards online that would never say that stuff to your face, right? Never say that stuff to your face. You got people online that hide behind a keyboard. You got people online that give they 2 cents when they wouldn't give you $1 if you were in help. You got people online that love to talk about you, but ain't gonna show up at your funeral, right? Ain't gonna check on you after it's not convenient to check on you. If I even said that right? Right? That's the world that we live in. And so you got people afraid to speak about their battles because they're afraid to be judged, criticized, and condemned, because that's what's gonna happen from somebody. We're afraid to speak on that. And then you wonder why somebody commits suicide, somebody killed themselves, and y'all, oh, why did they kill them? I didn't know. Because we sit here and we make it taboo to talk about what you're going through. If I was to get on here and talk about some things in my life, right? Some of y'all be like, oh man, like I don't like Trent no more, or whatever it may be. Because we live in a world where people think that everybody is perfect. Ain't none of y'all perfect. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So stop living life like it. That's not excuses to live life the way you want to live. Because I believe in progression. I believe in changing. I believe in elevating. But we all go through our stuff. If you look deep enough inside, you're going to find imperfections in me. I tell y'all about them. I tell you what I deal with. Because if you only love the perfect version of me, then I don't need you in my life. And that's facts. If you ain't gonna love the convenient version of me, and that's the thing that's the world that we live in too, man. When you beneficial to people, they love you. They love you. But as soon as those benefits end, they don't give a damn about you. And so when you can understand that, you realize what you living for. So all my people on here, influencers, you got a platform, athletes in here, everything. Understand this. There's only a few people who really love you for you. And ask yourself this question. In 40 years from now, are these people gonna give a damn about you? So stop living for this social media world. Stop living for strangers that don't give a damn about you. And stop living for people who just want to criticize you. Stop living for that. When shikari was apologizing to her haters, I was like, for what? Don't do that. Right? Apologize to your fans if you feel the need to, your family, whoever. But continue to live your life, baby girl. Continue to soar to new heights. Let this just be a bump in the road, because we all got bumps in the road. And some people got a lot more bumps in the road than they show. So let's talk about that. But y'all ain't ready for that conversation. Y'all ain't ready for that. We want to live in this filtered society, this filtered world where we want to act like we all good. We all Gucci, everybody, right? And that's why we die behind the scenes. That's why we smile for the camera and we die behind the scenes. That's why we do that. Then we go to the and then we go to the doctors and they prescribe us some things that make it worse. Let's talk about that. So some things I just don't get. Maybe I never will get. But I'm just tired of seeing people tear people down when it's convenient, when it's trendy. Some of y'all only tearing people down because everybody else is doing it. You're a damn follower, right? You won't reach out to that person and be the person to actually have that person's back because you're a damn follower. This world has programmed us to be followers, to follow trends. That's why we only care about things for 2 minutes. And that's it. Then we move on to the next thing. Then the next thing. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about this in 2 weeks. Ain't nobody gonna be talking about this next year. Ain't nobody gonna be checking up on her. She literally admitted to the world, man, I just lost my mom. You seen the pain in her eyes. So the same people that was criticizing and condemning her, my question for you is, did you pray for her in that moment? Because guess what? Loss and grief is real. And I don't care how strong you think you are, how strong you think you may be, when you lose your heart, you lose a piece of your heart, it's the hardest thing you have to go through. Hardest thing you have to go through. And everybody's struggle is different. Everybody handles struggle different. And when you understand that, you can put yourself in someone's shoes and be able to help them. I've always got this question, Trent, how have you been able to help somebody? It feels like your videos are just for me. Your messages are just for me. It's because you know why? I take time to understand. How do I connect with my kids? How do I connect with Tristan? Even though sometimes it's hard to. I can't talk to him as if I'm a 36-year-old man. I got to talk to him if I got to think about when I was 12 and 13 years old. I put myself in his shoes. And that's the problem. A lot of us, we don't do that because it's too hard to do that. We take the easy way out and we just think how I see life is the right way. There's only perspectives in life. There's no truths. It's only perspectives. And I respect everybody's perspective, but there's only perspectives in life. There's no truths because everybody, just like the sky, right? The sky is not blue. Go look it up. It's not, but it looks blue. That's the perspective. Everybody has different perspectives. Everybody deals with things differently. Everybody copes differently. Literally brain, how we're wired. People are wired differently. It's proven. So before you sit and say, I wouldn't do that. Before you do all that, try to understand the person because you don't know what they grew up with. You don't know the DNA they have that's trauma that's in their life right now. You don't know their situations and you damn sure don't know the storms that they currently going through. But none of us want to take time to actually do that because we so damn selfish and we so full of ourselves and we think our way is the only way. Our way is the right way. And that's why as a society, we will never grow. A selfless society doesn't create connection. It creates more division. And I'm not telling you not to ignore your truths and what's right for you. But I am telling you to open up your mind to try to understand the next person. So I shed a few thug tears today because there's a lot of things emotionally that's been built up inside of me that I'm going to talk about and that I've been wanting to talk about. Because I've had too many people in my life suffer from mental health, suffer from sicknesses, and they kept themselves in sickness because of a stigma of, y'all about to get T. Shelley. a stigma and a label that people put on them, right? A label that people, because you're this, you can't do all these things. And they chose suffering instead of healing because they were so afraid of being judged. So afraid of being judged because this world has programmed us with propaganda and everything else has programmed us to think a certain way. You are probably programmed. You watching this probably are. Right? There's things that I'm probably programmed to think. And that's why I'm always trying to ask myself, where does this thought come from? Where does this come from? Is this influence behavior? Is my mindset influenced because of what I'm seeing, what I'm around, what I was taught? And we never challenge ourselves. Some of us, we don't think for ourselves. We don't. We allow society to think for us. You know, so there's a lot of stuff, man, that I will be touching on. But her situation hit me in the heart because I was watching people tear her down. And she had a lot of people celebrate her, by the way. But I was watching way too many people tear her down because of the way she looked. Right? Because of the way she looked. I've seen a lot of people now tear her down and say, oh, why would you do that? Blah, blah, why would this or that? Instead of asking the question, man, like, what was she going through to make her do that? Right? What was she dealing with? And again, it's crazy that we still testing athletes for weed. They call it cannabis now, right? It's more, right? It used to be weed back in the day, but now it's cannabis because it's more acceptable to society now. So we're going to call it cannabis. But testing athletes for that, but yet giving athletes pain pills, things that causes massive addiction, right? $100 billion industry now. And that's what we talking about. While alcohol is fine, everything else is fine. That's what we talking about. You know? And let's be real. I'm sure weed didn't make her run any faster. And she still burnt their ass. So let's be honest. Let's talk about that. But hey, who am I? Just my perspective, man. So I'm praying for you. I'm praying for people. Yeah, it's legal. It's legal in what? Over half the states. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we'll have conspiracy talk later at another time, right? We'll talk about all the stuff that I think about and talk about. Maybe not online with people because I don't know if the world's ready for that. But there's a lot of things, man, that don't sit right with me. And there's a lot of things that I want to fight for and stand up for and use my platform for, especially my mom's situation, losing my mother. A lot of things, man. Like, it's just crazy how certain things didn't make sense to me. You know, it didn't. And it woke me up in a way of like, man, we are really programmed as human beings. We are. So, but the takeaway from today is stop judging people for the same things that you can't face in the mirror. And everybody's fighting a battle that you don't even know about. So hope this puts some love into the world, man. I appreciate y'all. All right.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.